Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Talk by Daylight. And in today's video, I'm going to be discussing one of the biggest anime slash manga that's out there to date. And of course, I am talking about none other than One Piece. I want to be talking about the Wano arc, more specifically Kaido, and how he's probably going to get defeated. And there's a lot of things that's surrounding Kaido that's a mystery. Like, no one knows, does he have a devil fruit, or just what is Kaido? No one knows. But one of the things I'm curious about, from the latest chapter 907 of One Piece, is his conversation with Big Mom. Now, as you guys know, if you read the latest chapter, of course, you saw that Big Mom called Kaido very, very angry at him, saying that, hey, I want Straw Hat's head. You owe me. Now, that made me think to myself, like, she says that you owe me from something that had to do in the past. Now, what exactly is Kaido's and Big Mom connection? Now, a lot of people are speculating that Kaido and Big Mom connection is that maybe Kaido is actually one of Big Mom's souls. And if you also read further into the chapter, Garp tells you that they used to be crewmates together. Big Mom and Kaido, maybe they were former crewmates. So when they were former crewmates, maybe Kaido got in some type of trouble, and Big Mom, trying to save Kaido, gave Kaido one of hers to put a soul inside of him. And when she put a soul inside of him, she saved him, and now she's blackmailing him to help her. Hence the phone call. You owe me a big favor, and that big favor possibly might have been, I saved your life, so now you owe me. Garp, he was, like I said, he was talking about bragging. He was bragging about the phone call, like, oh yeah, I remember those two. I beat their leader, their captain back in the day, and that's how I became the hero. So we know that Garp knew Kaido and Big Mom from back in the day, because he beat this mysterious captain guy. And with that being said, like I said, I believe that Big Mom, I believe that Big Mom possibly did save Kaido, but what I'm thinking is that I think that Big Mom might have given Kaido her soul. But hear me out. So if Big Mom did give Kaido a soul for him to survive, of course that would mean she would be able to kill him at any point in time, because she can just take the soul out of him and he'll die. But if I'm not mistaken, Big Mom's power only works if you're scared of her. So if Big Mom did put a soul inside of Kaido's body, and now Kaido isn't scared of Big Mom at all, will Big Mom power still work against Kaido? Because even though that's her own power inside of him, if he's not scared of her, will her power still work to take out the soul, to defeat Kaido? Because everyone's saying that, oh well, he's Big Mom's soul, she can just kill him anytime, but her power only works if you're scared of her. So maybe Kaido isn't afraid of her, so her power doesn't work, And some people are saying, well, hey, maybe that's where Kaido's immortality comes from. His immortality, being indestructible, he can't die from anything, jumping off a Skypia, getting executed and breaking blade. Maybe that comes from her soul as well. No one knows. I think, Big Mom and Kaido are probably from the same race, because both of them are big, they're humongous. Big Mom parents, they're normal sized parents, but Big Mom, she's humongous, so maybe they're giants. So maybe Kaido owes her a favor from, maybe she saved him from the giants and took him away. Now, another point I want to get to in this video is, of course, since it's the Wano arc, I want to talk about Zoro. Goddamn trap. But I want to talk about Zoro. Now, a lot of people are saying that, you know, since the Wano arc is all about samurais, swordsmanship, they think that Zoro is going to have his time to shine. Now, hopefully Zoro gets into a really big fight, because the fights that we've seen so far from Zoro hasn't really been interesting. Like, he one-shotted Hody Jones, and then he was dancing around Pika. That wasn't even a fight with him and Pika. Pika was just running from him. So I think in this arc, you know, when they get to Zoro and they get to the final, like maybe the final parts of Wano, you know, Zoro's gonna go up against the second in command. And I'm also hoping that they actually show Zoro's eye. A lot of people are speculating that Zoro has a secret power in his eye. I, for one, don't think that Zoro has a secret power in his eye. You know, I just think he got slashed in his eye by Mihawk when they were training, so now he can't see. You know, so he doesn't have use of one of his eyes. But if I did have to take a guess, maybe Zoro's eye is really well trained in Haki. And I think Zoro's eye would be trained in observation Haki. Now I know a lot of people think, well, that's not true because Zoro's specialty is armament Haki. But hear me out. I think Zoro's eye is trained in observation Haki. You know, kind of like how Kakashi has the Sharingan in his eye, but his eye is always activated. So he has to keep his eye covered at all times or it's going to drain his stamina. And that's what I think, if I had to take a guess, why Zoro keeps his eye shut. I think Zoro maybe keeps his eye shut because his eye is really well trained in observation Haki. And because it's so trained in observation Haki, maybe every time he opens it, he automatically sees glimpses into the future. So in order for it to not drain his stamina, he has to keep his eye closed. Either that, or he just got slashed in his eye by Mihawk, like I said. But I don't know, I'm excited to see what Zoro, you know, power in his eye entails in Wano. You know, I can't wait to see that. And back to what I said before, you know, Zoro's gonna have a big fight in Wano. And I think Zoro's big fight in Wano is gonna be with Kaido's second in command. Now, you might be thinking, oh, well, Kaido's second in command is Jack. You know, Kaido's gonna, you know, Zoro's gonna fight Jack. No, I don't think Kaido's gonna, I don't think Zoro's gonna fight Jack. Because I don't think Jack is Kaido's second in command. Now, the person who I think is Kaido's second in command is actually a woman. Yes, you heard me correctly. I said it's a woman. Now, the woman who I think that this is, you probably don't remember, because she hasn't been mentioned in a very long time. And the person who I think is Kaido's second in command of his army is Kuena. Now, if you guys don't know who Kuena is Zoro's childhood friend. Kuena was a phenomenal swordsman who couldn't even get beat by adults. You know, adults who were real trained in swordsmanship, they couldn't beat her. And if you guys remember correctly, Kuena actually, you know, supposedly died as a child by falling downstairs. Now, that doesn't make any sense to me, because you can't tell me that this really strong swordsman, you know, who was beating, you know, so strong, she was beating adult swordsmen, you know, as a child. You know, this girl is this powerful that she's able to go toe-to-toe with adult swordsmen. So now, we don't know if those swordsmen were good, but the fact that they were adults mean that they were more experienced than her. You know, but apparently not, since she was beating them, right? But, you know, you telling me that this strong girl died from falling down some steps? I mean, Nani? Nani? Even Zoro was looking like that. I was like, what? You know, when I read that, they're like, oh, Kuina fell down the steps. Oh, she's dead. What? How is she dead from falling down steps? But I think that maybe along the lines of her dying, maybe she was traveling the world to become the world's greatest swordsman. Because remember, you know, her mentor, I'm not sure if it was her father or her father was her mentor, but remember, he was saying that women can never become the world's greatest swordsman. You know, women can never do that. So maybe she traveled the world and she just so happened to run into Kaido, and she realized, Kaido, hey, you know, he's really strong. I recognize him. And maybe she worked her way up through the ranks and became his second in command. And if that's the case, I think that will be a really, really good fight for Zoro. And the reason why I think that'd be a good fight for Zoro and Zoro overcoming an obstacle, because when she was a child, when both of them were children, Zoro never beat her in a duel. You know, every time they fought in a one-on-one match, Zoro has never beaten Kuina. So I think he, you know, that will be a really good match if Zoro and Kuina actually fought. You know, if she was Kaido's second in command and Zoro and Kuina actually fought and Zoro wins. Because Zoro, from what we know from his past, he's never beaten Kuina in a fight. So I think that a match between Zoro and Kuina will be really good. You know, I think that'd be really good progress for Zoro and, you know, his character to show like, hey, you know, even though this girl is a second in command and I've never beaten her, now I've beaten her. Now, after, you know, all the Straw Hats fight their respective, you know, commander from the Kaido crew, I think, of course, we're going to go to the main event, which is taking down Kaido. And I think that when it comes to taking down Kaido, the worst generation is going to have their hands full, because we know Drake, we know he's there. Eustace, we know he got towed up by Kaido and he's sitting in the cage like a little trapped doll because my man's got towed up by Kaido. We know Hawkins is there. I'm pretty sure Killer's gonna show up because he's a part of Law's crew. The dude with the piano for some teeth, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be there. So, and the Marines, of course, because if you remember in the latest chapter of the Marines, you know, with the Marines, Kizaru was actually gonna show up to try to stop Big Mom and Kaido, but honestly, do you really think, you know, Kaido and Big Mom, two big Yonkos, are gonna be stopped by Kizaru? You know, don't get me wrong, I'm not downplaying Kizaru whatsoever, but I just don't see him by himself stopping Big Mom or Kaido at all. And the fact that they are planning on teaming up, that's not gonna happen. So I think that, like I said, the worst generation, they're gonna fight Kaido, but when they are engaging with Kaido, I think the fight's gonna get interrupted. Now, who do I think the fight's gonna get interrupted by? None other than Big Mom herself. And the reason why I say I think the fight's gonna get interrupted by Big Mom, because again, back to this phone call from this latest chapter. Kaido specifically told Big Mom, if you come to Wano, I will kill you. Now, Big Mom's gonna go to Wano, I think, because Luffy's at Wano. Because she wants to defeat Luffy for embarrassing her and her crew. You know, Big News Morgan getting the story mixed up. So she wants to take Luffy out. She knows Luffy's gonna go to Wano. She's gonna follow Luffy to Wano, and in the middle of their fight, you know, the worst generation versus Kaido, in the middle of their fight, I think Big Mom's gonna show up. And I think Big Mom's gonna show up with her entire crew. And I think there's gonna be a new addition to Big Mom's crew, actually, since I'm on the subject of Big Mom's crew. I think there's gonna be a new addition to her crew. I think the new addition to Big Mom's crew is gonna be none other than Judge, aka Sanji's dad himself. Now, the reason why I think Judge is a part of Big Mom's crew is for the simple fact that, remember before they fled Whole Cake Island, remember after Katakuri, you know, he got defeated, and then Luffy came out of the mirror world, and as Sanji was carrying Luffy back to the Thousand Sunny, you see like a glimpse of Judge going against Snack. Now, if you guys remember, Snack is a former member of Big Mom's Sweet Commanders. He's a former member because Snack lost to Aruj. Now, Judge, like I said in a little panel, Judge went up against Snack. Now, we don't know the outcome of that fight, but in my opinion, I think the outcome of that fight is that Judge came out to be the winner. And since Big Mom is already down a Snack commander, I think that since Judge beat Snack, that Judge now has taken his place in her rankings as one of the commanders now. So fast forward to what I was just saying with Big Mom crew interrupting the Worst Generation fight with Kaido. I think that, like I said, Sanji is going to see Judge, and Judge is going to want to fight Sanji. You know, they're going to have their duel, you know, because remember, they were fighting at Whole Cake Island, but Sanji couldn't fight him back because he had restraints and everything. So I think that Sanji is going to fight Judge. Now, how this fight's going to go, I think, me personally, that Sanji is going to lose. You know, I don't mean he's going to lose the whole fight. Let me rephrase that. I think Sanji is going to be on the verge of losing. Now, if you guys remember at the end of Whole Cake Island, Sanji he was gifted a raid suit. And remember Sanji, well, I'm not going to use that raid suit. You know, I'm not going to rely on you guys' technology. But I think Sanji will use that raid suit because he's going to probably be pushed to his limits from Judge. So since he's going to be pushed to his limits from Judge, I think that Sanji is going to use that raid suit, and then I think Sanji is going to defeat Judge. And then in the midst of all of that, Big Mom is going to go after Kaido. And Kaido and Big Mom are going to have a fight. So in a sense, I think it's going to be Big Mom, Kaido, and all the Worst Generation supernovas are going against Kaido. And the Marines as well. Because the Marines are going to show up, because what better way to capture two Yonkos and the Worst Generation members, you know, supernova members, you know, what better way to capture them all in one spot? You know, capture all of them in one spot. So it's going to be this all-out fight, and I think during this all-out fight, I think a number of things might happen. You know, for one, I think Luffy is going to go all out to the point where he dies. Now, a lot of people are thinking, oh, well, why do you think Luffy's going to die? But hear me out. I think Luffy's going to die because, as you know, Luffy has been getting his lifespan sapped from his body. You know, apparently, you know, it was stated every time he uses his second gear, his life force drains. And remember in Marine Ford, you know, Iconov, you know, in the Revolutionary Army, special ability, you know, to boost up your power, but she injects you with these hormones, and that also drains your lifespan. So I think Luffy's gonna go all out, and I think Luffy's gonna go all out to the point where he ends up dying. Now, you're gonna say, well, hey, if he dies, then there's no show. Well, think about it. Law, Devil Fruit, has a special ability. Now, Law's Devil Fruit special ability, remember Doflamingo mentioned this, is that if anyone dies, he can bring them back at the cost of his own life. So maybe in the fight with Kaido and all the Marines and everyone, maybe Luffy's gonna overuse his ability and he's gonna end up dying. And Law, because it seems like Law and Luffy are pretty close, so maybe Law is gonna end up bringing Luffy back to life. Now, as far-fetched as that may sound, it's a possibility that might happen. Or if it doesn't happen in Wano, it might happen eventually. You know, but I think that's what's gonna happen with Luffy. It may not happen in Wano, but I know that might be one of the possibilities of what might happen in One Piece in general. And also, I think that the Phoenix Pirates, you know, who are the Phoenix Pirates? The Phoenix Pirates is what I'm gonna call the Whitebeard Pirates, because there's no more Whitebeard. And since Whitebeard's dead, like I said, there's Marco. And Marco's supposed to be the captain of the pirates. So the name that I have respectively given him, the Phoenix Pirates. Now, I think Marco is going to be there too. Because, of course, his orders, you know, Whitebeard's order to Marco, protect Luffy at all costs. So I think Marco is going to have a hand to play in this Wano arc too, because he's going to protect Luffy. You know, and in the end of the arc, I think that Marco and the Phoenix Pirates are going to join Luffy's fleet. Now, I think Marco will be an amazing addition to Luffy's fleet. You know, because there's Marco, there's Jozu, there's Vista. I mean, Vista, really don't care about Vista. But Marco, you know, second in command to Whitebeard, so we know he's strong. Now, imagine Luffy having Marco on his fleet. That will be amazing. So I'm pretty sure further on down the line, maybe even after this Wano arc, I think that Marco and the Phoenix Pirates are going to join Luffy's fleet. Now, Kaido's takedown. During Kaido's takedown, like I said, I think the fight's going to get interrupted by Big Mom. Now, in the midst of all this fighting, you know, the Marines, you know, the Supernovas, Kaido, Big Mom, you know, Marco, I think that everyone's gonna get worn out. I think Big Mom and her crew, you know, they're gonna get pushed back by Kaido and the Straw Hats, because they're all gonna be fighting, you know. And then I think the one and only Marshall D. Teach, aka Blackbeard's gonna show up when everyone's fighting. Now, the role I think Blackbeard's gonna have in this arc, man, I cannot find the generator. Like, what the hell? The role that I think that Blackbeard's gonna have in this arc is, I think Blackbeard, let's say Kaido does have a devil fruit. Because we don't know if Kaido has a devil fruit or not. We just know that he can't die. And that could possibly be due to a devil fruit that he has. Or maybe Kaido's a beast, because Big Mom calls him a creature. So, if he does have a devil fruit, I think it would be a mythical Zoan, beast type devil fruit. And think about it. What would Blackbeard want with Kaido? Well, think about it. Kaido, or like I said, he has one of the mythical devil fruits, or beast devil fruit, the strongest devil fruit, because he's known as the strongest creature. Now, Blackbeard already has the strongest paramecia, which is Whitebeard Quake fruit. He also has one of the strongest Logia type devil fruits, you know, his Yami Yami no Mi, darkness fruit. So, what other devil fruit is Blackbeard missing? That will be a Zoan fruit. And if Kaido does have a Zoan fruit, you know, him being the strongest creature, or thing, as Big Mom calls him, then why wouldn't Blackbeard want to go after Kaido and take his devil fruit? And in my opinion, I think that Kaido downfall is going to be none other than Blackbeard. Because I think in the midst of all the fighting, Kaido's going to be on the verge of defeat from getting teamed up on by, you know, Luffy and the rest of the worst generation and the Supernovas and the Marines and Big Mom. And I think Kaido is going to be on the verge of losing. Then and the big boy Teach gonna show up, you know, with his laugh, Z ha 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 ha, you know, his little snagger too fast. I think he gonna show up, you know, missing teeth and all. I think he gonna do exactly what he did to Whitebeard, you know, him and Moria. You know, I think Moria, you know, Blackbeard's crew is gonna show up, and he's gonna use his darkness, yummy yummy no me fruit, surround the field in his devil fruit power, so everyone's not gonna be able to do anything. You know, Kaido's probably gonna be laying on the ground, maybe half dead from trying to take on everybody, and he's gonna do exactly what he did to Whitebeard, and he's gonna take his devil fruit. And when he takes his devil fruit, then Teach is gonna have 3 devil fruits. He's gonna have, like I said, he's gonna have a Logia, a Paramecia, and a Zoan. Now, a lot of people think that, you know, and I'm one of those people too. I also think that maybe during the payback war with Marco and the Phoenix Pirates, when they went up against him, I think a cool devil fruit to have for Blackbeard probably would have been Marco's devil fruit, you know, because who wouldn't want a mythical Zoan Phoenix? Now, his mythical Zoan Phoenix devil fruit isn't necessarily an offensive fruit, so maybe that might be the reason why Blackbeard didn't want it, because I mean, it heals you. You know, any damage you take, it heals. Now, from Oda, the creator of One Piece, he stated that Marco's flames don't actually injure you. You know, like Ace's, now Sabo's devil fruit. You know, the Mirror fruit, flame fruit. So, Marco's flames don't injure you. You know, they're just for show. You know, they're healing flames. Because, you know, you have attack flames and you have healing flames. So, Marco has a healing flame. So, you have to have extraordinary combat ability in order for that devil fruit to do any justice for you. And since Blackbeard doesn't really have combat ability that we've seen so far, I mean, yeah, he took on Ace, but he wasn't really fighting him. He just used his devil fruit and captured him. So Teach isn't really a hand-to-hand combat person. So because he isn't a hand-to-hand combat person, his devil fruit, really, Marco's devil fruit really wouldn't suit him. You know, I think the devil fruit that will suit him well would be Kaido's mythical Zoan fruit, because you don't need to be powerful to use it. You know, you can just transform into the most powerful creature and you can do damage there. So I'm not sure about, you know, if he wanted Marco's devil fruit because he knew that it wouldn't really suit him well. But honestly, I don't think that Marco's devil fruit would have been good for him to have anyway. So I think that Kaido's devil fruit, if he possibly does have one, will be the perfect fit for him to have, in my opinion. But so that's how I think Kaido is gonna get taken out. I think Kaido is gonna get taken out by Big Mom, and maybe Big Mom is probably gonna get taken out by the Marines. You know, and all the other fights that's gonna happen, because remember the Marines, I'm pretty sure they're gonna show up. You know, Yonko's gonna show up. I think that Kaido's gonna get defeated by Blackbeard. Well, he's gonna have his devil fruit stolen from him. Damn, you think I can make it to this exit gate? If I'm able to make it to this exit gate, wow. Come on, girl, crawl for your life. We can do it. Crawl, 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 crawl to this exit gate. Keep crawling. You can do it, girl. Man, my heart is pounding. Uh-oh, I'm gonna get caught. Damn. Oh well.